Welcome to Bath, Great Britain, a World Heritage City. Bath was one of Britain's smallest walled medieval cities. The walls were probably rebuilt by King Alfred in the 9th century on the original Roman foundations. At 20 feet high and 10 feet wide at their base, they enclosed an area of 24 acres. It was said you could walk around the whole circuit of the walls in 10 minutes. Let's see if we can beat that. We're passing the only stretch of wall that looks like it used to. We'll come back to this at the end of the tour. We are starting our circuit of the city walls by heading east along Upper Borough Walls, a street name indicating that the houses on the left were built on top of the city wall. Here we pass over the site of the North Gate, the place where London coaches would arrive after a 3-day journey from the capital. As we sweep downhill towards Pulteney Bridge, we pass over the line of the wall and turn onto the elevated roadway of Grand Parade, where we stop to view the floodwaters crashing over the weir far below. At this point we make a slight diversion away from the river, up a passage between the Victorian Empire Hotel on our left and the Covered Market on our right, to view the only existing medieval gate. That's the East Gate that dates from the 14th century. Returning to the road, we rejoin the line of the wall to the east of Bath Abbey, following it until we meet the line of buildings in North Parade. Here we can see a fragment of the wall in this basement, showing the line the wall takes. To continue tracing this line requires a slight diversion into Old Orchard Street, where we bump along the stone setts forming the road surface until we turn into a car park and find a larger section of standing wall. On the left, standing outside of the line of the wall, is the original Theatre Royal, now the Freemasons' Hall. A plaque on the wall confirms that this is part of the medieval wall of the city of Bath. Returning to the road, we follow the line of the south side of the city wall that is now occupied by the Marks and Spencer store, built in 1961. The pedestrianised area here is where the south gate of the city stood, now commemorated by the modern Southgate development to the left. Passing along Lower Borough Walls, the city wall stood on the left-hand side of this road. Westgate buildings on our left date from the 1930s and replace the houses where Jane Austen located her character Mrs. Smith in her novel Persuasion. Here at the western end of Westgate Street stood the Westgate, in whose rooms royalty would stay when visiting Bath. Climbing the hill we pass the Theatre Royal on the left. This open area is Saw Close, and in this corner of the city stood the Gascoigne Tower. Heading back towards our starting point along Upper Borough Walls, we come across the only remaining section of city wall that looks as we would expect it to. Although renovated in Victorian times, this stretch survived because it marked the site of the burial place for the mineral water hospital that stands opposite. A tablet on this wall tells us that this piece of ground was in the year 1736 set apart for the burial of patients dying in the Bath General Hospital, and after receiving 238 bodies was closed by the governors of that charity in the year 1849 from regard to the health of the living.